So stop deflecting, stop blaming the media.
By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. Portland, the sheriff just came out today, and he said, I support President Trump.
He wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million people who have pre-existing conditions, and they'll be taken away as well.
The 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very happy with.
That's simply not.
They said it would take a miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs.
The 200,000 people that have died on his watch.
And if you were here, it wouldn't be 200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban
All right, gentlemen,
Europe.
You know, his own former spokesperson said, you know, riots and chaos and violence help his cause. That's what this is all about.
I don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said.
She said that.
The more chaos and anarchy and vandalism and violence reigns, the better it is for the very clear choice on who's best on public safety and law and order.
Take a look at what happened in Virginia and other places. They're not losing 2%, 1%, which, by the way, is too much. An election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and 40%. It's a fraud. I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against Big Pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%.
Are you not worried about the
we have
disease
a lot of
issue,
people.
sir?
Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts. I want crystal clean water and air. I want beautiful, clean air. We have now the lowest carbon. If you look at our numbers right now, we are doing phenomenally.
But, sir, if you believe in the science of climate change, why have you rolled back the Obama Clean Power Plan, which limited carbon emissions in power plants? Why have you relaxed?
Because it was driving energy prices through the sky.
Why have...
And I'm okay with electric cars, too. I think I'm all for electric cars. I've given big incentives for electric cars. Take a look at West Virginia, mailmen selling the ballots. They're being sold. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things.
You say that's the end of it? This is the end of this debate?
Honest ballot count.
We're going to leave it there.
Too.
So I got two COVID tests this morning, one in Delaware and one by the former White House doc who came up, and everything's clear. We wanted to make sure everything was clear before I came. Look, I would like to start by acknowledging, which I'm sure all of you do as well, sending my prayers for the health and safety of the First Lady and the President of the United States after they tested positive for COVID-19. My wife Jill and I prayed that they'll make a quick and full recovery. This is not a matter of politics. It's a bracing reminder to all of us that we have to take this virus seriously. It's not going away automatically. We have to do our part to be responsible. It means following the science, listening to the experts, washing our hands, social distancing. It means wearing a mask in public, and it means encouraging others to do so as well. It means having masking mandates nationwide. The director of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield said, and I quote, and he held up a mask, he said, "These face masks are the most important, powerful public health tool we have." Then he held the mask up again and said, "This face mask is more guaranteed to protect me against COVID than a vaccine," end of quote. Leading scientists from the University of Washington tell us that we can save more than 100,000 American lives in the next 100 days alone if everyone wore a mask in public. So let me repeat that because it's so important. We can save 100,000 lives in the next 100 days, according to the head of the CDC, if everyone wears a mask in public. So be patriotic. It's not about being a tough guy. It's about doing your part. Wearing a mask is not only going to protect you, but it also protects those around you. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, husband, wife, neighbor, coworker. Don't just do it for yourself. Do it for the people you love, the people you work with. We can get this pandemic under control so we can get our economy working again for everyone. But this cannot be a partisan moment. It must be an American moment. We have to come together as a nation. I'm running as a Democrat, but will run and govern as an American president. Whether you voted for me or against me, I will represent you. And those who see each other as fellow Americans who just don't live in red states or blue states, but who live in and love the United States of America. That's who we are. And there's never been a single solitary thing America's been unable to do. Think of this, not once. Not a single thing we've not been able to overcome when we've done it together. So let's get the heck up. Remember who in God's name we are. This is the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. I want to say God bless you. May God protect the First Family and every family that's dealing with this virus. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I started this gang called the Proud Boys.
We will kill you. That's the Proud Boys in a nutshell. We will kill you. We look nice. We seem soft. We have boys in our name. But like Bill the Butcher and the Bowery Boys, we will assassinate you. Now, part of the reason I agree to do the talk is because I'm allowed to bring all my guys. And we can fight our way in and fight our way out. I think it's our job to do it. And the cops to turn a blind eye. If you're wearing a MAGA hat, as Sal is right now. Sal's in the studio, folks.
Oh my God, it's Sal Cipolla. Where are you from?
On here.
Wow, you came a long way.
If you're wearing a MAGA hat, and some guy with a slightly punk demeanor comes up to you and says, "Hey, are you Sal or are you pro-Trump?" Choke him. Trust your instincts. Don't listen to what he has to say. Choke him. If I do a video where I say, how about we start throwing bricks? Is that legal? You can't call for violence on a specific person, but can you say they're throwing bricks? We should throw bricks. Can you call for violence generally? Because I am. Fighting solves everything. We need more violence from the Trump people. Trump supporters. Choke a motherfucker. Choke a bitch. Choke a Get your fingers around the windpipe. I want violence. I want punching in the face. I'm disappointed in Trump supporters for not punching enough. Get a gun. Get ready to blow someone's head off. I've even killed people in my dreams. That's how awesome my gun is. Get in trouble, get arrested, get fired. Let's all get in this together. They can't kill us all.
Yeah, I got green tips, man. Those go through at least 3 bodies.
Oh, beautiful. Plop. I love the way he falls on his ass. They said, you want to go? I said, yeah, I want to go, and I punched him in the face. And then Coulter emailed me later, and she goes, conservatives never punched anyone in the face. Finally, things are turning around. And then Malmsberg goes, you're not advocating violence, are you? And I go, I absolutely am. It's a wonderful, effective thing. This is a war.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
So stop deflecting, stop blaming the media. I'm tired of it. Just one more observation here. If the president didn't know who Proud Boys were and Joe Biden just threw out the name, if he didn't know who they were, why did he denounce them? Why didn't he say, well, I don't know who they are. Can you give me a little bit more information about them and then make a decision about it? So this all remains very puzzling. And for all of you on Twitter who are hammering me for asking that question, I don't care, because it's a question that needs to be asked. And clearly, the president's Republican colleagues a mile away from here are looking for an answer for it, too. So stop deflecting. Stop blaming the media. I'm tired of it. I'd like to ask you for a definitive and declarative statement without ambiguity or deflection. As the person who speaks for the president, does the president denounce white supremacism and groups that espouse it in all their forms?
This has been answered yesterday by the president himself, the day before by the president himself on the debate stage. The president was asked this. He said, sure, 3 times. Yesterday, he was point blank asked, do you denounce white supremacy? And he said, I've always denounced any form of that. I can go back and read for you in August 2019, in one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. In August of 2017, racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups. I have an entire list of these quotes that I can go through with you. He has condemned white supremacy more than any president in modern history.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that you denounce, that the president denounces it?
I just did. The president has denounced
You read a
this
bunch of quotes from the
repeatedly.
past. Can
The
you-
president was asked this.
Can
You're
you just-
you're contriving a storyline and a narrative.
I'm just asking you to put
He
this
said-
to rest.
I just did. I read you all of the quotes,
read
and
me
if you
past
need to see
quotes.
them in
Can you
writing,
do it
I will put them in
correctly?
an email. Paula.
So, Kayleigh, can you right now denounce white supremacy and the group
I
that
just
espoused
did.
it?
The president has
You read a
denounced
bunch of quotes
white
from the past.
supremacy, the KKK, and hate groups in all forms. He signed a resolution to that effect. The president just last week, perhaps you all weren't covering it, but just last week expressed his desire to see the KKK prosecuted as domestic terrorists. This president had advocated for the death penalty for a white supremacist, the first federal execution in 17 years. His record on this is unmistakable, and it's shameful that the media refuses to cover it.
The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security say that racially motivated violent extremism is one of the deadliest threats that we face in the U.S. Does this White House agree with that assessment, and what is it doing to combat this threat?
The president has done quite a bit to combat this threat. First of all, last week, he also, in addition to saying he wants to prosecute the KKK as domestic terrorists, he said that lynching should be a national hate crime. Again, I think there's no stronger signal that you can send than advocating for the execution of a white supremacist, the first time there's been a federal execution in 17 years. He's been unmistakable.
It's different than actually doing it.
He's continually condemned it, and it is really...
The record on this, to
it
go to
is
John's
really-
question, is mixed. He has condemned
it is
it,
not
he's
mixed in the
equivocated. At
slightest.
times, he said he didn't want to acknowledge it or address it. His record is very mixed on this issue.
His record is not mixed in the slightest. And when you go back in
Very
history,
mixed.
you can
I have
see
this
that
history right here.
when you go back
We have
in
this
history, you
quote.
can see that
It's
Jesse
mixed.
Jackson
It's
has
mixed.
praised the president as someone who served underserved communities. This president with Mar-a-Lago, it was the first Palm Beach club open to African Americans and Jews. And in fact,
But his record
he
is
was-
mixed. He has
he was
not been
praised.
consistent on the issue
He
of
has
white
been
supremacy. So I'm asking you,
entirely
what has this
inconsistent.
White House
And
done
it is quite
to
shameful.
combat
It is
what the
quite
FBI
shameful.
says is
Let
one of
me
the
speak, Paula.
deadliest threats
Paula,
in this country?
We're not having a debate on a cable news network.
You're
right now, you need
saying
to
that
let
he
me finish.
condemns it. I have his record right here. It's
You need
mixed.
to let me finish.
His record
It's
is mixed.
quite funny that the media goes haywire about interrupting in debates and then chooses to pursue that very same tactic themselves. This is a White House briefing. You ask a question and you give me time to answer.
So the Proud Boys, or people who consider them to be members of this group, give voice to these misogynistic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant views. They're a despicable group by pretty much anyone's standards. So when the president was asked about them, and you say he denounced them, that's what you're insisting that he did on the debate stage the other night. If that's the case, then why are they celebrating what the president said on the debate stage in front of millions of people?
Well, I don't speak for that group, so I'm not sure why you're asking me why they're saying a certain
If
thing.
someone denounced you, you probably wouldn't put it on a T-shirt and make badges of it, right?
The president did denounce them. He was asked, will you tell them to stand down? He said, sure. Went on to stand.
Which seems like an
He
instruction.
said stand back, and then just yesterday when he was asked, he said specifically stand down, a synonym with stand back, and the president said sure when asked by the moderator whether they should stand down. So
No, he
again,
said-
it's really interesting too to see that the media seems to be the only one putting the names of these groups into headlines, into media reporting. He didn't know who the Proud Boys were. The first time I heard of them was in the debate, but the media continues to put these names into circulation and give them a lot of public attention.
He was given about
Justin.
12 hours, more than that, since from the debate from when he was asked to clarify yesterday. And he didn't come out and clarify yesterday. Instead, he did what you did when John asked you to unambiguously denounce these groups. You just pointed to past things that you've said. You can't, I just don't understand why you knew you were going to get these questions and you don't have a statement ready to just say, we do unambiguously denounce these groups. And
Caitlin, you know what is... Do you know why people have lost trust in the media? There was a reporter from your network yesterday, your network, and in a tweet said, quote, the president...
I'm asking you a question. I don't even know what you're going to bring up, but that has nothing to do with what I'm asking you
I
right now.
sat here when you lobbed your partisan attack question, so you will allow me to give an answer. The president and someone from your network said yesterday in a tweet, the president dodged a question about white supremacy. That was a tweet from a CNN reporter. The president specifically, verbatim, was asked yesterday, white supremacy, do you denounce them? To which he responded, I have always denounced any form of that. Those are the facts. And CNN, I know that truth is of no moment to your network, but those are the facts.
They're not
And that is
Why
shameful
are
of your report.
Republicans are calling on the president to be more forceful. His own
Justin.
party.
Thanks, Kelly.
A lot of people don't want to wear masks. There are a lot of people think the masks are not good. Seriously. The whole deal. I watched Nancy Pelosi. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. Got to wear the mask at all times, indoor, outdoor, when you go to bed at night. Joe feels very safe in a mask. I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to expose his face. I don't know what's going on. There's no reason for him to have masks on. We get tested. I'm tested. I have people tested. He's like 100 yards from the nearest human being. He's got a mask. He feels good about the mask. I wonder, in the debate, it'll be him and I on the stage. Is he going to walk in with a mask? I think he'll come in with a mask. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, the question is, will he leave it on during the debate? I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. And he famously told a voter, I want you to look in my eyes when he's not wearing the mask, because I've never seen a man that liked a mask. Did you ever see a man that likes a mask as much as him? And then he makes a speech, and he always has it, not always, but a lot of times he has it hanging down, because you know what? It gives him a feeling of security. If I were a psychiatrist, right? No, I'd say this guy's got some big issues.
Face masks, these face masks are the most important, powerful public health tool we have. If we did it for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, we'd bring this pandemic under control. I might even go so far as to say that this face mask is more guaranteed to protect me against COVID than when I take a COVID vaccine.
No, the mask is not as important as the vaccine. The mask perhaps helps. Don't forget, a lot of people didn't like the concept of masks initially.
It's a very unpleasant thing, walking around with a mask all day.
I want people to have a certain freedom, and I don't believe in that, no. And I don't agree with the statement that if everybody wear a mask, everything disappears. I asked a question today. I said, why would they wear masks in Wyoming or Montana or North Dakota? I'm supposed to make a speech. You'll tell me. Should I leave the mask on when I'm speaking? I don't know. It doesn't sound right. Should I speak in a mask? You're going to have to tell me if that's politically correct. I mean, I think hopefully I'll look good in a mask. Actually, I had a mask on. I sort of liked the way I looked. Okay, I thought it was okay. It was a dark black mask, and I thought it looked okay. It looked like the Lone Ranger.
I have no problem with a mask. I don't think you need one when you're tested all the time. Everybody around you is tested.
You can do it. You don't have to do it. I'm choosing not to do it, but some people may want to do it, and that's okay. It may be good. Probably will. They're making a recommendation. It's only a recommendation. It's voluntary. I'm feeling good. I just don't want to be doing, I don't know, somehow sitting in the Oval Office behind that beautiful Resolute desk, the great Resolute desk. I think wearing a face mask as I greet presidents, prime ministers, dictators, kings, queens, I don't know, somehow I don't see it for myself. I just maybe I'll change my mind, but this will pass, and hopefully it'll pass very quickly. Do the masks. I mean, it's not going to hurt. Do them.